Hey guys, what's up? V8 Merc here. I got tagged by California Prepper to do a video on my worst knife cut that I got. I believe Hammer's 357 mag started the whole tagging of people on this whole topic. I think so. I think that's what it was. So I got tagged in it, and I'm going to share my story. I actually have two of them, but one of them is the real one I want to share with you. The first one was a recent cut I got with this knife right here. This knife here is just really cheap, $25 knife, whatever. I've had them since like high school. But I was on vacation at the beach in California. We have a place called Pismo Beach, or Oceano Dunes. And I was out there, and we were eating breakfast on the last day, because you can camp out on the beach, and you drive up on the beach, you camp out there, and you have some motorcycles go cruise around the dunes in the back. And so the last morning we were there, we were eating breakfast, and we were going to leave. And I was done eating and everything. I actually didn't even have a fork. I was using this to eat entirely, as my fork, as my knife, as my spoon, basically for everything. And when I finished eating and I cleaned the knife, I was closing the knife, and I closed it on the tip of my pinky. And it took maybe, I think, only a week to heal. And it literally cut the top of my pinky off, like about that much or so. And it was like, after the first 3 days, it felt numb. But after a week, it started like joining up to itself, so it was getting much better. And then I think in 2 weeks or so, it was completely healed. If you guys remember in some of my other videos not too long ago, I said I couldn't do any shooting videos because I got hurt, I got injured like that. But that was just like that's just like a random small story. That was like that was my second biggest cut. My very first one that I got was maybe 5 years ago, and it's before I really had any other knives. I had this one. Someone had given me this knife, and I was working with my dad. He has a pool company, and I was working with him, and I was working on a timer box that controls the pool's timing and stuff like that. And there's some plastic shrouding in the timer box that covers up the wires, and the screws that were holding that plastic shroud in were rusted off, and I couldn't use a screwdriver. So I thought I would just use my knife and trim around the screws, trim the plastic off to get to the wires. And when I was doing that, it kind of was requiring more force, so I poked it in like this, and the blade is facing up towards me, and I knew that if it's going to slip, it's going to come at me. So what I did is I put my other hand in front of my arm like this to catch it, because I knew it was going to slip. And it was requiring more force than I was estimating, and I was young at the time. I'd say maybe sophomore in high school or something like that. And when I was pulling up on it, and it was working, but what happened is, as it was going through, it got really easy, and it came through, and it came all the way up, and it pushed my other hand, my left hand, up and all the way towards my face. Actually, the tip of the knife here hit my eye. It hit my eyelid, and actually hit my eye. And I got really scared. I just dropped the knife, dropped everything in my hand. I ran over to our truck to look in the mirror, in the rear view mirror, to look at my eye, and I'm expecting all this blood and everything, but I just was really hazy because my eye was watering a lot. And I looked at my eye in the mirror, and I couldn't see any blood, and I was looking around just to check the eyeball itself, and I didn't see anything. And then I looked at my eyelid, and I see a little chunk of meat missing from there. And I look on my eye, and in the corner I can see it sweep the chunk of meat to the corner of my eye, because that's how our eyes are designed to, like move any debris on our eye out to the corner and flush it out. And that's why my eyes were watering. It was trying to flush it out. And I got the meat, and I looked at it, and it was a little tiny piece of meat, maybe about the size of I don't know, like 1/8 of the size of a piece of a rice. It was pretty small, but it was enough to where you could put it on the tip of this knife blade and look at it. It was half the size of the rivet on this Victorinox here, I would say. Half the size or so. And I saw the piece of meat, and I was like, holy shit, like that's fucking crazy. And I was looking at my eye, and my eye was fine, and I double checked, and I looked at my eyelid, and I could see the piece of meat missing. And then after that, I just went right back to work and finished up the job, went home. About like maybe a few days later, I looked at my eye, and it didn't hurt anything after that, and everything was fine. And now when I show people it, you can see my eyelashes. They're going. It was the bottom eyelid, and they're going this way, and then where it got hit, which was towards the corner of the eye, probably about a centimeter or half a centimeter away from the corner, they start going this way, and there's like a bald spot of eyelash. There's probably 1 or 2 eyelashes missing. So, and it's not really something you can see from far away. You have to really look at my eye to see it. But I came, I think, within millimeters to literally stabbing my eye and cutting my own eyeball out. But it was a pretty stupid mistake. It should have never happened. It's just something I didn't, I wasn't paying attention. It was a negligent deal, So that's my story. That's the most serious cut I've ever got, and that's why I was saying that I damn near went blind with that whole deal. So I'm going to keep this tag going on here, and I'm going to tag a few people as well. First person I'm going to tag is Iowndunoob. You probably have to have a good story on cutting yourself. You gotta, you're smoking all these cigars in your videos. I'm sure you've done something where you've cut yourself pretty badly. And then the Oneyedpatriot and Halfyankee. So those are my 3 tags right there. Iowndunoob, Oneyedpatriot, and Halfyankee. And I'll send you guys PMs and whatnot so you guys can get that message and all that stuff. So that's my video today on my worst cut ever received. Thanks to California Prepper for tagging me, and that's the only way that story would have came out of me. I would not have normally just told anybody, because it's kind of makes me look bad in the terms that I was kind of negligent with my knife handling at that time. But I was a little younger, so we all live and we learn and whatnot. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later. The 8 Merc out.